Eke ame Oneio Maya kone Anaeo. Sometimes I know what I'm singing and sometimes I don't, but what I've gotten that it's seventh density and it's light language. And depending on who's around me, the song just comes out. Like, just a quick background, my husband passed away 18 years ago, and I started, after he passed away, I had been going to a shaman and working on my spirituality, I mean, just on my journey, and I started hearing my husband talking to me. And I was like, what is up, dude? If you were gone, why are you here talking to me? And I could hear him very clearly. So, so what happened is I started getting waked up in the middle of the night, and I would hear these messages. And so I started keeping a journal next to my bed, and I would write the message. And then when I quit hearing it, I'd put my journal away, go to sleep. And the next day I'd read it, and I went, whoa, I didn't really, that just came through. And so this has evolved, and I had a session with Antonio, who taught me introspective hypnosis, and what came out in that session was it's time to take the journal out from under your bed and start letting people hear your messages that are going on. Omeo okane Oneio Anekone Onekio.
Thank you for that. Where does this language come from?
It's a seventh dimensional language.
Yes.
Love language.
Yes. And when Laura connects with this language, is this her language?
In one of her lifetimes, concurrently, that she's living.
Can you tell me about that? Where is this lifetime?
Yes. See, serious?
Mm-hmm. Yes. When I say serious, does that resonate with you?
Yes.
All right. So I want you to just take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, I want you to just break through and begin to see the details of this life. Why is this life being chosen to bring forth this song?
It's one of her gifts that she's bringing into this dimension because there's such low frequency on the planet.
Mm-hmm.
And by singing these songs, it connects hearts.
Yes.
Brings peace to those who hear it. And it's different for every combination of humans that are in front of her.
Yes. So as each human listens to this song, do they hear different things or feel different things?
Yes.
Yes.
It's to help them begin to resonate with their own self. Mm-hmm. This world keeps people out of their own souls and keeps everything out there. And this frequency helps them go within themselves.
Yes.
And feel and move energy at a molecular level.
Yes.
Causing a shift in their bodies. Mm-hmm. It may be a tiny shift. It may be a large shift. It's different for every human that hears it.
Yes. And why is it that at this time Laura has begun singing, not only to humans, but to animals?
Because the animals are distressed. They fear the humans. They're not safe around humans. And her songs to the animals are to thank them, to send them love, to let them know they're safe. It's a universal language, so the animals understand it as well. They understand the codes that are sent through the tones.
Yes.
Because frequency is energy, but it's also information. So in the language, the love language, the light language, they understand. She is sending them love, that they are safe. They are sending peace. She's sending peace. Much like the birds in your front yard yesterday that stayed. They stayed because they felt safe. They wouldn't move when she went by them because they knew this human was safe.
Yes. Yes. So today we have a gathering of many souls here. Why has this gathering taken place today with Laura?
In this group of women that are here, many know their gifts, and some are on the edge of realizing their gifts. And this gathering is to give them a safe place to open their hearts, to open their minds, to accept who they are, to give them bravery by watching Laura sing and channel and have the unique experiences of their past life regressions. The combination gives them permission to accept who they are and to stop dimming their lights. This is to help them brighten their lights from within, because at this time they are needed. Their services are needed. They hold the light in the places where they live. They influence all those around them, even without saying a word. Their frequency, their energy level is so bright and high that just by being in the presence of others, it lifts those around them.
Yes.
And so this gathering is to help them not feel so isolated, because light workers are innately put in spaces that they feel very lonely because we're spread out throughout the world. And it's almost like we're the boots on the ground and we each have our position on this earth. But there's not a lot around us. We are the influencers where we are. So this is to give them strength and courage and curiosity to work through those things that are bogging them down, those things that are keeping them from letting their light shine, from them understanding who they are, from them stepping into their power, from them understanding that they are made in the image of God, and that they are beautiful, powerful, amazing humans who have been kept down and oppressed. And so this is to give them permission to step into their beauty, their uniqueness, their gifts, their power, become who they need to be at this time on earth.
Mm-hmm. In this place, I'm sure that there are many elementals. And Laura had an experience recently with an elemental that had information for her. Does that elemental stay on that land, or does it follow Laura?
That elemental stays on its land, but has the telepathic ability to come through when it needs.
Yes. Their communication was broken he or she or it was not able to communicate what it needed to communicate. Can we connect now to that elemental to bring forth the message?
Yes. In a moment. Top of the morning to you. Or
Hello.
afternoon.
Good afternoon. Who are you, please?
My name is Eduardo.
Eduardo. Tell me a little bit about yourself, please.
I am a tiny little guy in comparison to you. I am about 2 foot tall, and I can make myself smaller. I can shapeshift as I need. I live on the land, in the woods, on the ground, and it is my job to take care of the plants and the ecosystem of the woods, of the grasses.
Yes. And how is it that you found Laura?
Originally, I came through channeling with her, and it took her by surprise because she thought my voice was very funny and sounded very silly, and was very embarrassed to let me come through. But with this connection with the humans, since we are here in this beautiful place, since we can feel the energy and the power of the nature around us, it is for me to help you understand the strength of taking care of Mother Earth, of the healing of Mother Earth. As you feel the wind around us, and the sun on your body, and the ground beneath you, this ground is able to absorb your heavy densities. Mother Earth is capable of doing this. And as you look around at these beautiful trees on this land, these trees are a community. Their roots move under the ground. They move under the ground until they're intertwined and they connect with each other, all under the ground. And they communicate with each other, and they love each other, and they protect each other, and they have emotions, and they have feelings, and they are majestic. But humans are so brutal to the trees. They just annihilate them, genocide a forest for the greed, for things that don't have to be this way. There are such better ways not to destroy the beautiful trees. And don't you see the coexisting? The oxygen that they give us? We live in harmony. We need these trees. We need these plants. This is an ecosystem where all of us are to be compatible as one. And yes, people tease about elementals. It's a hard concept to gather. That there are tiny little people, tiny little races that live among the plants, under the ivies, throughout the forest, throughout the grass. But we live in harmony, and we help each other, and we help the plants. And we love our life living in nature and the healing that happens. And in this place, Alba, you have a whole entourage of elementals around you. It's a beautiful place, is it?
It is beautiful.
Can you feel the energy? And this energy that you feel on this land, this is what harmony, living in harmony of the earth feels like. This is what the earth is supposed to feel like. All animals can roam freely. The plants can roam freely. And Alba, we commend you on even letting your ants roam freely.
They are free.
Because all needs to exist. And there's such an easy way to coexist. Everybody lives in the ecosystem, and it works together. And so one of the messages we would like to bring to these beautiful, powerful women today is that come out to nature. When life is getting you very hard, when it's hitting you hard, come outside, lay on the ground, let Mother Earth absorb those densities. Walk barefoot in the grass, walk under the trees. This is your healing place. Not only are humans learning to heal each other, nature is a powerful healer. Stay outside. You see, it was by design. It was by design with the dark forces that cement was put all over the beautiful earth so that the humans couldn't feel the earth beneath them. Walking on the cement and the sidewalks and the streets and the concrete kept the humans blocked from nature, and they couldn't feel their power. It was by design. So when you look back in the history and you have the indigenous people and the Native Americans that lived off the land, they understood this harmony. And then the dark forces came in and took away their beautiful practices and tortured and annihilated them because they saw their power and they couldn't control them, so they had to shut their power down. And now in this era of quickening where humans are rising again, it's almost like a dialing back, going back to what the indigenous people know, the harmony, the beauty, the power in the plants, the healing medicinal properties of the plants. Everything you need to self-sustain is out in nature. It's out on the earth. And that's been taken away for this monetary system that's been developed. But here's what's going to happen. That system was based on greed. It cannot sustain in this environment now. You see, at this stage of the game, there's so much light coming through. There's so much powerful forces coming through, positive energy coming through, that the dark is beginning to diminish. Because just like when you walk into a room and you turn on the light, when you have one spark of light, darkness cannot exist. So that's who we are. We're turning on the light. We're turning on the light on earth. And the darkness cannot sustain in the frequency and the enormity of the light that's being turned on. So one of the gifts for you being here, for Alba having this place and sharing this beautiful place, is for all of you to realize how healing nature can be. Go outside, shut off your devices, get out of your house, step out of your rat race, walk in nature, and hear your guidance. Quiet your mind and go within. All of your guidance is within. You have access to all the information of the entire universe within you. And as your frequency grows, you will have more access to that information. It's a process. It's not going to be a light switch. Step by step, shedding the heaviness, shedding the density, then you will begin to hear the knowledge, to know the knowledge, to be brave enough to follow your own guidance, to take yourself out of this box that society makes you stay in. Step out the box, color outside the lines, feel the freedom of that, and then you will begin to realize your power.
Thank you. I'd like to ask a question about the weather, the wind, the sky. So many toxins are being put into the sky. How is that affecting the land, the trees, nature?
The chemicals the chemicals in the air, not only the chemicals from manufacturing and production, but the dark side puts chemicals in the air. And it's poisoning the water, the trees, the animals, the flying animals. You know, just an example, when people spray for mosquitoes, do you think that just kills the mosquitoes? It kills all the flying insects. It doesn't just delineate mosquitoes. It kills everything that flies. The chemicals that we put in the air is choking. It's choking the trees, the leaves, the plants, the animals. It's breaking the ecosystem down.
What can we do about that?
In the awakening, we will begin to become more aware, to clean up the air. You can speak out. You can begin to say, no, it's not okay. It's not okay for you to dump chemicals in our air that we breathe, in the air that the trees need and the plants need to survive. It's about being able to speak your truth and not be scared to speak your truth. We've been conditioned to live in fear. Don't speak out. You'll be labeled. You'll be talked about. But it's time for us to take our world back. Let people be aware of how bad the practices are.
Very good. Is there any other information that you have from the elementals?
Yes. I just want to say, in your own environments, be gentle with the plants. They have feelings, although you don't know. If you choose to take a plant captive in a container, then take the responsibility of taking care of it or set it free. It's just the same as putting an animal in a cage, putting a plant in a container and leaving it to die. If you do not wish to take care of that plant, leave it be where it can thrive and grow. Again, this is another example of human greed and humans being unaware of what they're doing. So take care of your plants. Treat them with respect. Take a moment to touch them, talk to them. They have feelings. If you see that you have a plant in distress, move it in a different area. See if you can help, see what it needs. But take good care of the plants and come out in nature, because we are here to help heal you. And if you get the opportunity, the plants are easy and happy to help you, as they're used for medicinal purposes for healing. So if you have someone who understands which plants can heal your body, they are happy to assist you and be used for that purpose, for the healing.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So I'd like for you to go ahead and take a deep breath in and begin to connect once again with those that can give us information about timelines, about our world events. Yes.
So Alba.
Yes.
In Laura's past life regression, she went to the table of the Octurians.
Yes.
And there she told you that she saw Jill and you.
Yes.
And Sabrina and the entire group discussing the condition of the earth at this time. When Laura was first asked to come to the earth to be the bringer of messages and information, the table where we sat is a kidney-shaped or kind of oblong quartz table, and it has a sphere that's a ball that looks like it's quartz, and it spins, and it is the earth. And when we first sat down at the table, there were tears at such distress, such sadness for the humans. They were just zombies, just not knowing. But now, what we're seeing is that people are beginning to realize the game that is being played, and they are growing tired of the game. And the dark forces who have been ruling the earth are being dismissed from the earth.
What does that mean, dismissed from the earth?
Well, there are various ways. There is a galactic war that goes on the earth. It really is a galactic war. And the earth was not meant to be a prison. But the dark forces came in, and they realized that humans can so easily be programmed. And that's how they began controlling all the humans and dumbing them down and keeping them very, very low energy, keeping them in fear. And now what is going on is that the humans, we've brought so much light to this area, to the earth, that the dark forces can't sustain in this frequency. You see, they evoke fear and shame and guilt. It's all those lower level emotions that the dark forces survive in. And if you raise that emotion up and you go into joy and love and comfort and peace, that is not a frequency that they can function. They feed off of the low energy frequency. So that's why they've programmed humans to stay in fear and guilt and shame. And they've done it by penetrating religions, calling you sinners and heathens, and you're not worthy of even touching the cloak of God and Jesus, and just you are just not even worthy, just making you feel less than. And then by government regulations, just making everything so difficult and oppressing you and oppressing you and oppressing you. And with the financial systems, just the money, taking more and more money and just creating stress. You don't have enough. You don't look like these people. You're not belonging. Just a constant barrage of negativity until you just stay in the low frequencies. So now, galactic races have come in, and they have come in and they are removing the darker forces out of their positions, but they're doing it very quietly, very much behind the scenes. This is not anything you're going to hear in mainstream media, because quietly the shift is happening, that the dark is being moved out and the light is coming in. And so as the humans begin to awaken and go, we are not going to continue this path. What is going on right now, the dark forces are coming in their last-ditch effort to just try to oppress the humans even further. But this will backfire on them, because in this oppression, in these regulations, the majority will say, we've had enough. We are done. And it will begin to undo the dark forces even more. So when we say we're eradicating the dark forces, there's several different ways. Some are being taken off the earth plane. Some are being moved out of positions of power. Some are crossing over. Some are being coerced into the light side. So there's lots of different ways that the dark is being disheveled and dismantled. And so what will occur now is that soon life can feel chaotic, because the systems that were developed on all of this greed, your financial systems, your governmental systems, your education systems that are meant to keep people oppressed and feeding them false information so that they're not empowered. All these systems were built on greed and with control in mind. And as the light and the frequency gets more powerful, see, light, you have to think about it as information. Light is energy, but it's also got information coming through. So the higher your frequency becomes, the more information you can absorb, and the more you know the truth. And they cannot keep you in this zombie state, in this programmed state. So that's what we mean when we say raising our frequencies, because we get lighter and we get more information and we get more knowledge, and then you start looking at everything in a different perspective. So the dark is being taken off the earth in many different ways. But what's going to happen is that your systems will start breaking down. And in very different ways. Some systems will make slight alterations and won't feel so broken. They'll just morph into a better way. Other systems may break completely and have to be built from the ground up. So as this begins to happen, humans are going to get nervous. They can get nervous because they don't know everything that they've been taught. They're going to realize is not real and it's not truth, and they're not going to know where to turn, and they're not going to realize who they are. Those light workers who have been given the information ahead of time have been given that information so that they can stand strong and bright and powerful and compassionate and loving, so that they can help keep the calm and the peace as the systems are disheveled. And it's going to be much like cleaning out your closet. You're going to take everything out of your closet and it's going to look chaos in your room. But then you're going to throw away those things that no longer serve you, and you're going to keep those things that keep you streamlined and make you happy and are of use to you, and neatly put them back in your closet. And we are in what we call the meantime. You have your old way that we no longer want, and we're moving to a new way. But the meantime can look very messy, like your closet, as you're cleaning out your closet. And it's in that messiness that you want to make sure that as a light worker, you stay calm, you stay out of fear, you stay peaceful. You're going to be fine. You're going to be good. And the encouragement is that you are pliable, that you ride the waves as the waves come, and you stay within your peaceful spot. And as you watch the chaos in the world, you become an observer. You don't pass judgment. You just know that things are shifting as they need to shift. And stand strong in your knowing that this is the meanwhile that's going to get to the better place.
Very good. Now, this experience of this shifting, is it going to be different for all people?
Very different. Just, you know, the amazement of the uniqueness of every human being is this. You've lived thousands and thousands of lives on different galaxies, different planets, in different galaxies, on different planets, on the Earth time and time again. No two humans have ever followed the exact same path and exact same sequence of events that have happened to them. And that's what keeps every one of us so incredibly unique. And so, yes, this shift will be different for every single human. That's why when people are like, well, what's it going to be like? It's going to be different for every person.
Well, here's an example. There are many different messengers. Some talk about solar flashes. Some talk about energy waves, blue light from inner Earth, ships coming, so many different stories. The new Earth coming from different channels, different hypnosis sessions, Dolores Cannon's work. All of these are very different. And everyone's waiting for the event. Can you tell me about that?
The event is not, for me, in my domain to discuss, because my job, my expertise, my skill set, my gift is for matters of the heart. As you listen to these channels, as you listen to this information, it's very important for you to discern this information for your own self and to not let it evoke fear in you. Whatever the event will become, your job is to stay peaceful and know it is as it should be. That as a light worker, you are strong. You signed up to be on the earth at this time to witness this amazing event, this transformation. So your job is simply to stay peaceful and grounded and within yourself quiet. And let's say the event happens tomorrow. Are you living your life in a place of joy and love and compassion? That's what you look at. Whether it comes tomorrow, whether it comes in our lifetime, whether it comes in the next lifetime, are you living your life to the fullest? Are you exploring this beautiful earth? Are you sending out love? Are you staying peaceful? Or are you buying into the guilt and the stress and the fear that this event could bring? Let go of that. Let go of all those emotions, because those are lower density emotions. Your job is to stay up here, stay in the heart, stay in the higher vibration, stay in the information that is strong and powerful. And do not obsess over the event. Your job is to stay peaceful and to send love and light. It can be a fearful, evoking information if we describe the event in detail, so it's best just to live your life to the fullest and not obsess over the event. We're now in fourth dimension, and we're moving up into fifth dimensional. And your job is to just keep it moving your frequencies up so you are in a good place. So when the event would occur, that you're in a very peaceful, good, high vibrational place, and you will be taken very good care of.
Very good. What do we do about all of our children that are now suffering with depression, with sadness, after 2 years of being locked up, and also just with the traumas that they are experiencing with neglect, abandon, everything that's happening to children?
Yes. As much as you can, disconnect your children from their devices. The devices are feeding the children terrors.
Can you explain that? I'd like for you to go deeper into that. What actually is being transmitted over these devices?
As you know, when someone has a phone, say a child has a phone, and they start watching a video, and all the algorithms that go on find that they can analyze that child's thoughts, that child's process, and they start analyzing that child and bringing them information that keeps them in that lower frequency. If you have my telephone and you have my 14-year-old's telephone, and I start looking at her information, it's totally, completely different than the information that I watch on a daily basis.
Yes.
And the children are young and they're vulnerable, and we don't even know what's being programmed in their mind. But they are absolutely being put into a hypnotic state and fed all of that information that is keeping them depressed, keeping them at a low level. The sexuality that's coming, sexuality is in your lower chakras, and they're penetrating the children's lower chakras with all the sexuality messages, the fear, the depression, the suicide. If you notice, it's a huge issue going on with the teenagers. So disconnecting them from their devices and very much limiting them and getting them outside. You see, the lockdown was designed to keep you inside, isolated, on the cement, out of nature. So how do you counteract that? You get them outside, you get them out of the house, you get them away from the technology, you get them away from the waves that are coming in through those devices or through the TV. You move them away from that and get them into nature and get them into community and interact with them and go back to the hiking in the woods or getting outside. Just spending time with them will help you get them out of that low vibration, and take them to healers if you can. If you have healers that can help remove the heaviness, what happens is these children go into these low energy areas, and then they're open to pick up dark entities. As soon the children get very vulnerable, and then the dark entities get into their energy field and begin feeding them even more. You're not worth it. You're not worthy. You shouldn't live. You need to, end your life. You need to do these things. So a lot of these children, teenagers especially, are walking around with a lot of attachments. So if you can get them clear, have them lay on the ground, let them swim in fresh water, swimming in a lake, even swimming in a pool. Water is tremendously healing and cleansing. So as soon as you can, you let your kids swim a lot and begin clearing them in that manner.
Mm-hmm. Is there any type of prayer or protection that we can do for our children or teach them in order for them to be more protected from these dark energies besides the phones and the devices?
If your children are open to it, a lot of times you're pushing against their programming that they have of trying to fit in and not look silly or buy into your belief system. But if you can just use simple prayers like, do not let anything in, like teach them how to put a cocoon of light around themselves, and do not let anything enter except that which is of love. In your own homes, you can protect your home by projecting energy in a dome over your entire home, your entire property, and put out that no darkness may enter your home. And you have that power. You have that power to energetically protect your entire home against darkness coming in. And if the child has an entity, many times it has to stay at the door because it can't come into the powerful light and the high frequency of the home. So keeping your house energetically high will help your children stay clearer as well. But then you have them going into the schools and into, the gyms and wherever your children are playing, that they can pick up the entities. But at least when they come back into your home, they'll have some peacefulness and some safety in your residence.
Thank you very much. One of the questions that we have from one of the ladies here is that she lives in a city where the homicide rate is very high, 5 out of 257 that occurred in 2021, all happened within a mile of her home. She was told by her guides to move to this place, that by simply being there, she would raise the vibrational energy. Are there any specific words that she can speak in her prayers that can quicken this process of raising the frequency for the environment?
It's twofold for the question. As a light worker, some of our assignments are in some very hard places. And that's where you feel isolated because you're in this place that can be very dark around you. But you are only assigned to this place because you are powerful. And only the best of the best were the boots on the ground. So your presence alone, by keeping your own body high vibrating, your presence alone, if you walk into a grocery store in that neighborhood, you're going to lighten up everybody's energy within that grocery store, because anyone that comes in contact with you will pick up the frequency, your frequencies. A specific prayer would be very similar to what we were talking about, putting the dome around your home. Put the dome around your city or your block. Start at a block at a time and really concentrate on visualizing high frequency filling your block and your neighborhood, and only speak words of love and affirmation, and pray for those people that are in that area. Pray for them to have peace, for them to find love. And you can ask your guides to come in and help you. Please come in. Please come help me with these people. Please bring them love, bring them light. So ask for help from your guides as you go into your meditation. Keep yourself clear where your energy comes out from your heart. Everybody you meet, project energy from your heart to theirs. This is where your love comes out right here. So whenever you meet someone else, your information and your vortex, it's a tetrahedron that attaches to their tetrahedron, and it starts exchanging information. Keep yours pure. keep it from a place of love. Just send that person love. Even if they're angry, if they're mean, if they're horrible, send them love, because that will eventually resonate with them and may raise them just a little bit at a time. So it would be any prayer. It doesn't need to be a specific prayer, but pray for your neighborhood. Pray for those who are carrying the guns, who are killing each other. Pray for their hearts to be changed, for their oppression to be over with. You don't know what these kids or people have been raised in. You don't know what their hearts are. And here's the deal. We're not going to be able to save everybody. You're going to have to just send love to them, and we are a planet of free will, and they will have to make their own choices. So it's not our job to go in and salvage the entire area. We can only send our love and our knowledge, and they have to actually make that choice. There are those that are not going to come up from the darkness, and we have to just know that that's not our job. Our job is to take those that are on their path of knowing and awakening and just try to give them more light so their frequency can raise, and they'll be on their own journey.
Very good, thank you. During this time of turmoil, all of the countries are having a lot of issues with the people. There's a lot of revolt. A lot of the governments are being very hard on their people. The question I have now is about the Corporation of the United States, whether it's going to be dissolved. But I'd like to expand that even more about other countries' governments. Is this something that is going to be dissolved? And second part to that, what are the light workers' position in all of this?
Yes, the governments will be dissolved. You see, these governments were built on greed and control and infiltrated by the dark forces. And as the frequency raises, these institutions cannot stand because the dark is going to dissipate, and they're gradually being taken out of positions of power. The oppression, the increased oppression that the government is having on the people is being allowed at this time because there are people, if it just stayed mediocre, humans are highly adaptable. And they can just go, okay, I can handle that. I can flow with that. But if you began to just squeeze them down, then it causes more people to get to a breaking point and go, this is not okay. So that is what's going on now. It is the dark forces' last-ditch effort to try to confine the humans. They do not want to lose their zombies and their control over the people. Their whole agenda was to keep the entire world controlled and processing for them and being productive for them and them controlling them. So as they're squeezing down, more and more people are going, this is absurd. This is enough. And so the revolt, as bad as you may think the revolting looks, that's the meantime. That's the cleaning out the closet. The humans are going to speak up. The governments are going to be cleared out, be rearranged, be redone, and the people coming in are going to be more transparent. It's going to be for the people. It's going to break down all this system that is in place, the oppressive, the monetary system, the governmental system, the medical community, community keeping our humans sick all the time, these things are all going to break down, and the truth is going to come out, and the transparency is going to come out, and the people are going to have enough. And that's where your change is going to happen. So instead of being fearful as your systems start breaking down, the goal is to be an observer and to be in a neutral position and go, wow, look at that. It is happening. Okay. And as it looks bad, no, it's really for the better. It is the changing of the guards that is happening. So you can be very fearful of this and go, oh my God, how is this going to affect me? Or you can know that you be pliable enough. You will ride through this wave. It will not be forever. And then you will watch it settle back down. And on the other side, then you will be able to become peaceful and you will see the change from an oppressive society into a loving, community-based society.
Very good. And would you know what the impact of the Pluto return of the United States Republic be over the next 5 years?
I do not.
Okay, very good. Thank you. So, are there any other questions, or do you feel that we are complete today? All right, very good. Do you have a final message for the group or for anyone else?
I do. Know that you are not here by coincidence. You have been prompted by your guides who see who you are. Before you entered this world, you had a contract to come in and be of service to the people. And the reason you are here is because your guide was keeping you on your path, you on your path to be of service to others. Laura was having a conversation earlier about how incredibly difficult it is to be your authentic self and to be so different from the normal people that just follow the rules of society. And so your job is to have self-control and patience. You know who you are, or you are learning who you are and where your strengths are. It is not for you to go and impose your beliefs upon other people, to push your belief systems down their throat. That is not for you to win souls over. Your job is to shine bright, to have your frequency high, and people will be drawn to you, and people will begin asking you questions. And as they come to you, that's when you impart your knowledge upon them. If you've noticed in these couple of years, those who decided to get the V and those who did not get the V, there was no conversation that could be had between these two opposing sides, because each was in the corner with their fist up, with their argument. Step away from that. It's called staying in a place of neutrality. For your own self, you decided you were going to do it or you were not going to do it. You let other people decide for themselves, are they going to do it or they're not going to do it. But it's not for you to interject your view on these people and be combative. Love is not combative. Love is healthy boundaries. Love is not letting someone pound on you with their views too. Love is learning to say, let's just not have that discussion. And there are lots of other ways that you can communicate with these people, especially your family members that are giving you such a hard time or could be giving you a hard time. You don't have to go share your whole belief system with them. You know what you know, and you help them as you can raise their frequencies in whatever little manner is necessary. You just keep pouring your love out for them, and that will help raise their frequencies. So all of you women here today, be brave, be strong. Use your feminine energy in this. Feminine energy is not a bulldozer. It's very loving. It's very kind. It's very tender. It's very approachable. Be all of those things in your world. And stay out of the opinions of who's right, who's wrong, what's going on, what's not. It's not your job. Your job is to spread love, spread light, and spread knowledge only when asked. So the blending, it's a light worker's, one of the light worker's hardest adaptations is how do you blend in with the others and yet be authentic and be truthful. You don't have to show all your cards at the table. Just one here, one there, whatever they can handle. You don't have to lay your whole hand out there for them. Just each person that you meet can just handle a little bit. Let them come to you. Set your intention that you will be of service and bring those to you that you can help. And that's how you move forward in this turmoil, this time of turmoil that we're in. You be the steady, peaceful person, and they will want to know and be around your peacefulness. Be that for them, knowing that it can look like this, that you can ride the waves. We're in the meanwhile, going from the dark to the light. And it has to have dismantling to remantle it.
Thank you very much. So with that, I'd like to thank all of those that assisted Laura here today. And Laura, I'd like for you to go ahead and disconnect from all of those energies now. Release those energies. I'm going to count from 1 to 5. With each number, you'll be waking up more and more. Releasing, letting go. 1, beginning to wake up now. 2, breathing in the fresh air, breathing in the sunlight, breathing in all of the energies. 3, 4, coming back now. And 5, wide awake, completely alert, feeling wonderful all over.
This needs to be your new office right here. Oh, it's so awesome out here.
The tree.
Whew, the community of trees. Yeah, I'm glad they let us come hang out here.
How was it for you?
It was okay. It was good. The elemental makes me a little uncomfortable because he's got this quirky little voice and he hops around like a little elf, and I was like, people are going to think I'm crazy on that one.
You were pretty calm. It may have been on the inside that you felt that. I think it came out pretty
well,
good.
You know what? I made an agreement that I would let him come through because before I stopped it.
Yep.
And this time I was like, no, here we are in nature. They need to know. So
we did receive a lot of information about nature. I thought that was very important to understand that and how the trees were being affected. You know? So I think that now moving forward, a lot of us will understand we really do have to take care of even our potted plants with respect and
And it's all of it, Alba. It's the animals, you know, like for me to have to calm the birds down. Well, they were already peaceful because they know you welcome them to your land. But, you know, the animals have been through so much. And when you think humans have been through so much trauma, the animals have been through trauma.
Absolutely.
You know, they feed the animals and then they get their guns and go out one day and go, hey, we're not giving you food today, we're going to blow your head off. I mean, what are they to believe and trust? So it's tough.
So this was a very interesting session here today. It's the first one I've ever had outdoors like this. This is my home in Micanopy, Florida. And this wonderful group of 12 women have come here today for group regression, for a wonderful picnic together. It was a beautiful day and a lot of conversation. And of course, we ended up with Laura channeling. And I really hope that in the future you can also partake in this. It's a great experience. I know that everybody here enjoyed the fresh air, the sunshine, it just feels wonderful here. So anything you want to say before we finish off?
No, just shine your light bright. Trust yourself. Be brave enough to do you. And we're all unique and we're all beautiful.
Yes.
And be powerful enough to know that you are perfect the way you are.
That's it. Well, thank you very much for watching, and I hope I get to meet you in the future, either for a session, for one of these gatherings, maybe even come and do a light therapy or some other fun thing that I offer now. And please keep watching the videos and keep shining your light. Much love to you. Bye-bye.